Yeah.
Now, outside of wrestling and acting and weightlifting, you've also done a lot of charity work. Worked with
Yeah,
various organizations. Let's talk about that. Talk to me
sure.
about some of the stuff you've done as far as helping out in your community is concerned.
I think it's important giving back. I just ran I do a lot of signings now that people know I'm back in the game and stuff, because they couldn't get a hold of me, after COVID and the actor strike. They didn't know where I was, but since I did one podcast, as you know, it kind of like burgeons and it just snowballs. I'm almost doing one a week now. But when I do the signings, especially I did a signing here. I just did a signing in New Jersey and New York about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I did a signing here a week ago, and I raffled off two of my wrestling dolls still in the package. They're like $2,000 value because they're hard to find. But I did it for free just because I want to give back to the community. So we had a real good turnout for that. And I feel good. We were paid a lot of money, and to wrestle, and the merchandise, the dolls, the shirts, the TV shirts, the posters, everything else. And I just want to give back. And I'm also, as you mentioned, I'm doing a fishing derby. I'm holding a trout fishing derby at my farm in Milford, New Hampshire. It's a stock pond in the farm. I got about 3,000 trout, and I'm gonna no registration free, so that's free. Free food, free drink, and cash prizes for tagged trout. That's a trout. There's three of them that are tagged. If you catch one of those trout, or a couple of them, if they got the tags on, you get $200 a trout. And then the largest trout will give you like 200 or 300 bucks too. So I think the fact that it's free, I'm promoting it, I'm giving back to the community. I like doing that. And I've done a lot with churches around here too, even while I was not acting and stuff. Um, my business, my Weightlifters Warehouse, my store were doing very well. The building were doing very well. And so I feel a need to give to the churches for their construction projects and things like that. So yeah, I'm a firm believer in that, and I think it goes a long way.
Was there a particular moment where you were helping someone that was very heartwarming?
All the time, all the time. Whether it's someone in a store, a grocery store, they're trying to dig for change and stuff, and I just tell the cashier, "Hey, I'll take care of that. Don't worry." That makes me feel good. Or you know, the churches, when they're trying to get something done, like for instance a sidewalk, they got to get it fixed because parishioners will get hurt. And I try to say I do it anonymously, and they like that, and that really, and then they find out it's me, and they come up to me and they say thanks. So I think it's the right thing to do. But I think the most personal ones are the ones that I help out um, in stores. They have no idea who I am. I just tell them, I won megabucks, which I really did, because I'm just so grateful for the opportunities and the rewards I'm getting now. So how can you not want to give? I kind of hear my mother saying that too. So I make a point of doing that, helping the homeless. Even though a lot of people say, well, you're just going to give to the drinking or that. I say, yeah, but what if this guy's just out there? What if he's just really trying to get a jacket, or if he's just trying to get a meal or something for the night? You don't know. And, 20 bucks isn't going to break you. So I try to make a point to do that. And I know sometimes it might go to waste and stuff, but the thought's there, and there's a chance that it's not going, you know. Um, so yeah, they all have a personal effect on me. And I like that, because it's the Holy Spirit looking down on you. Jesus is happy what you're doing, and he's showing you love. And then I think he shows it in the pay forward with opportunities I get, like with the acting and everything. So um, yeah, and I'm not doing it just because I want to. I'm not making a deal with God saying, "Listen, I'll do this, but make me this and that." You still got to work for it, but I like to do my part. If you're offered money, if you're given a lot of money and making money, and you have an opportunity, I think as a human being, uh, how can it not feel right not to give? You have to. You have to. And even when I wasn't making money, I still gave something to some people. You can tell when people are struggling, things like that, you know. But then getting back in another notion, Vince McMahon, especially that federation, we became overnight sensations. I mean, all of a sudden, I'm making $100,000 a year, you know, from a teacher's salary and a dropout out of dental school. And I invested that money and the money that I made with the vitamin company and stuff like that. I invested that money into my weightlifting store in the building I bought with my dad. But I don't like when people get this premonition or they get this notion, okay, they made more money than me, some of these top 10 wrestlers. And they're down and out. They didn't think it was ever going to end. They put it up their nose or they just blew it on partying and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden they don't have any money. And so the earliest initial reaction is, and I hate this, it bugs me. They try to take Vince McMahon to court or something because he was around when they took drugs. And I go, stop right there. Vince is not your mother. He's not a therapist. He's not a kindergarten teacher. You guys were adults. You did what you did up your nose and behind the scenes and steroids and everything else. You knew the dangers. Don't blame Vince. And I hammer this point home, Stan. I tell these people, even at the signings, the other wrestlers, when they got a bitch with McMahon or they had a bitch with Von Erich, the old man, Fritz, I say, don't take it out on them. I go, if you didn't get picked by Vince, you'd still be just a fucking gym rat, okay? And that's it. And they just shut up. So a lot of it's common sense, but I will, if I see Vince, I will always say, Vince, thank you for the opportunity. And I'm indebted to you because it was great that you promoted my strength, my wrestling, and that parlayed into the acting and everything else. And if it wasn't for that jump start with you with all that exposure, I'd probably be a dentist. And not that that's a bad thing, but it's just not me. My whole family's into medical or attorneys. My sister is married to a dentist, Joanne. She and my other sister, Camille and Christine, they're dental hygienists. They make good money. They made really good money. And Camille became an orthodontist. And then my brother became a lawyer, an attorney. And my older brother, Joe, he became a head heart surgeon out in California, in Northern California. Yeah, in what's it, Fresno, somewhere out there.
What is it about giving back to you that gives you the most joy?
I want to go to heaven. I mean that, but you've heard that adage, you feel better giving
yes.
than receiving. It's the truth. It really is.
It is.
It really is. And I'm sure it sounds like from your persona, I got the feeling that you're a good guy. You give whenever you can too. But I think it makes you sleep better at night and you're doing God's work, the God's work, and you're following him. And I think he's smiling on you because when you feel good and good things happen to you, I think that's reflection from God, not to be a holy roller, and I remember doing this even when I was wrestling. I would still try to give what I could and stuff like that. Because you never know the weirdest things. People come up to you and you help them out some more, even if it's just a conversation. That's big. Mm-hmm. Especially, they come up and they say, yeah, I saw you and this and that. And you don't just brush them off. Oh, thanks a lot. If you got the time, talk to them. And that's really big. That makes their day. And I think that's given too.